silver coming off the COMEX isn't bought for industrial purposes. It's bought for investment purposes. And the whole investment thing is a scam.
We've watched in the last 6 months just massive amounts of metal leave the UK or come from somewhere and cross the pond into the US. Not just gold, silver.
Yep.
I've seen reports, people trying to figure out what the actual float is of silver in London, and incredible math say it's under 200 million ounces. And then you got about that much that's flowed into the COMEX over the last, I don't know, 6, 8 months, from 300 million ounces in all their vaults up to about 500 million now. Record amounts of deliveries, or very near record amounts of deliveries, 16,000 contracts back here in May for the May contract, or very close to it. What do you make of that? Why is all that metal moving around the planet? Are they band-aiding things? Is it tariff related? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm pretty adamant on some of this. I mean, I've heard people I respect, I won't use their name, and here's how it went down to absolutely best of my knowledge. It did start with tariffs. Oh, tariffs have nothing to do with it. Tariffs is what started the ball rolling, because these guys did not want to pay at the time, and this has gone back and forth, as fast as Trump changes his underwear. But regardless, when it started, everyone was worried there would be a tariff on bullion. 25% was the number at the time. So that's exactly what started. I don't care what anyone says. That's what started it. Now, once that started, then other factors started coming into it. The other factor was there's a pretty good arbitrage between London and New York.
Yeah.
And because of the arbitrage, that incentivized. So now is it tariffs? No, it's tariffs and arbitrage, or forget the tariffs, it's arbitrage alone, but it went tariffs, arbitrage, combination thereof. Then after that, then this is more conjecture. It got to be, well, we're going to look at the amount of gold in Fort Knox, and we better find some gold and stack it in the shelves real fast so, we can do our shell game. Because if we audit West Point, we'll move the gold over there, and then after that's audited, take the gold out, we'll move it over to Fort Knox, and after that's audited, we'll take it out and take it to the third place. I'm being a bit facetious. Believe me, this has happened. I have proof on this. It's probably happened here. I know for a fact it's happened in Australia, because I was involved with John Adams for a long time when we were investigating a facility down there. So that would be my answer. But why exactly, I don't know. I think there was those three reasons of why it moved. But what's the ultimate why is, do we need it for a military program, talking silver more than gold, or do we need it to shore up a bank or a stand for delivery that someone knows is coming in the future? Or I don't know. I don't know that part of the
answer. Yeah, a curious bit of math. Back when the silver was really cooking and we were at 200,000 contracts of open interest, but only 200 million ounces in the vaults, it's like 5 times the amount of silver that's there, registered and eligible. Well, now, we got about 140,000 contracts. We got 500 million ounces in the vault. So that's 700 million versus 500 million. Is the exchange deleveraging a little bit? I don't know.
I think they are. I mean, I think nothing could hurt them more than a failure to deliver, especially if it's one of their insiders.
Right.
It's a bank-to-bank failure to deliver. Or
Correct.
COMEX. I mean, industry doesn't buy off the COMEX unless they're really short, need it real quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most of those contracts are with refiners directly. Why would they ship it from London to New York to Philadelphia where they're making silver wire? No, they're going to go to the refiner. They're going to ship it to
right.
It's a bank-to-bank to the industry user. And that's the way that works. And I mean, so there's a lot of contracts that are not anything to do with the futures markets. And usually they're based on a weighted average or whatever. In other words, I want to lock in silver. I mean, someone will lock it in at a certain price. That happens. But usually it's, 3 months, the average price over the 3 months plus 2% or whatever. But that's an example. It's not exact. But there could be one exactly like that. Anyway, I'm a little drifting off, but the point is, there's such a show around the price setting mechanism, as Ted Butler taught us for years. But when you get to the actual silver flows of where the physical moves from and to, it's opaque. It's from
Yeah.
refiner to industrial
Yep.
users. It's only the guys that buy it for investment purposes that take it off the COMEX and fill up the SLV or the PSLV, or Buffett buys it off the COMEX or whatever. But most of the silver coming off the COMEX isn't bought for industrial purposes; it's bought for investment purposes. And the whole investment thing is a scam based on a paper derivative of oats or wheat or corn or T-bills.
Like
I
anything
mean, it's
else.
all
Yeah.
a fucking paper derivative. I don't know if I can say that word. Sorry. I usually don't, but you got me triggered because you and I agree on a lot of things, not everything. I don't agree with everybody on anything. But the purpose of these markets was to be able to hedge for the producer, which I think is noble. I think it should exist. But it's been abused for so long that it
Yep.
no longer serves its useful purpose.
Yep.
If Trump really wants to do something, you get, somebody in the CFTC to right the wrong, and start this as you can only short what you produce within a year,
Right.
or within 6 months or something that's fair. But if you could short infinity, the price is going to zero of
Mm-hmm.
anything, not
Anything.
just silver. If you short, wheat to infinity, there's 10 planets of wheat waiting to dock for us. Price is worthless.
Right. But if you get asked to actually deliver the wheat against what you sold forward, there's a whole, then you can't
It's
do
a
it.
new
So,
story, and that's the way the game is supposed to be
right.
played.